Hello everybody, happy Easter! I hope everyone is having a great Easter indoors, and I hope y'all are coping with this as well as I am, and despite how rainy and sad the weather has been today in my town, I just wanted to review a movie that is a lot of fun and exciting, and I think it will be perfect for Easter even though it does not have a bunny, it has a bear, but let's review it anyway. Paddington is a 2014 family film directed by Paul King, and it is based off of the beloved British children's books called Paddington Bear, written by Michael Bond. So, this movie stars Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins, and the voice of Paddington is by Ben Whishaw. So, this movie is about a bear from Peru named Paddington. He goes into London and he is adopted by this family called the Brown family. And when they're in London, he's beginning to discover city life among the British. He's having trouble fitting in, he's making a lot of mistakes, but the greatest thing is that once he learns so much, and through his experiences, he decides to write them through letters to his aunt named Aunt Lucy, who is still living in Peru. But unfortunately, as he stays in London, Paddington has to avoid this villain played by Nicole Kidman. And this villain works for the British Museum and plans to make animals out of taxidermy. So this is the number one thing that Paddington has to avoid. And there you got a movie. And I am happy to say that Paddington is such a fun movie to enjoy for everybody. There are a lot of things to praise from Paddington. First of all, this movie is just pure excitement. There are no boring scenes, and just this movie is just very dedicated to excitement, adventure, learning. You get everything you want from a family movie in Paddington, and that's what makes the movie just so much fun to watch. It also treats the character of Paddington very maturely. Even though he is someone that makes a lot of mistakes in the movie, you do not sit down and point fingers at him. He is someone that you can relate to when you don't fit into your own normal environment and when you're forced to adapt into a different place with different people. And then when you see Paddington trying to find his way through, that's what makes the movie very interesting and very entertaining at times. Another thing I can really give a thumbs up for this movie is the voice acting by Ben Whishaw for Paddington, because when you hear Ben Wishaw's voice, he adds so much emotion and humanity to the voice of a bear. And just the way how he speaks, he's very polite, and he really does fit what it would be like for someone as curious as someone like Paddington to be in a place where he doesn't know. And it's just when you hear Ben Wishaw's voice assimilate into this TGE character, you can really fall into his footsteps. You really relate to him very quickly. You learn about him, and you're someone that you really want to root for. And that's a really big pro that I have to give, the voice acting by Ben Whishaw. And I also really appreciate the actors, Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins, Nicole Kidman. They too are very funny and they give out great performances. I also really love the CGI for Paddington, the character, because when you look at the CG and the amount of work that they did on this bear, it looks kind of realistic. Well, not extremely realistic, but in a way of how it feels real, like right in front of you. And everything from the eyes, the fur, the movement, and the size of the bear, and even the physique. Those are the things that really caught my attention when they animated it. And I can also appreciate the cast acting as if a bear was in front of them when it actually wasn't, and the way how these computer animators had to animate Paddington Bear into the frame within the actors. That's another thing that I can also give huge praise for this film. As for flaws, there are not really many flaws, but I guess for my own personal nitpicks would be probably the second or third act where Paddington runs away and then, he's having an emotional moment. And then I just thought that kind of slowed the pacing down. And I would say, like, some of the jokes, like, while they were funny and clever, there were times where they used some scenes for just jokes only, and they decided to use it as filler just to satisfy, the pacing, making sure that they got it on time. But nevertheless, those are just my own personal nitpicks, but Paddington is truly a great film that people need to watch. It's very exciting. It's also very uplifting. And it really does teach people about how we can learn through our mistakes and how to, like what I said, assimilate through a society that is not very native to us, and when we feel different and how much we try to fit in, and also just how much we need to be grateful into being different from others. That's one of the greatest things I love about Paddington. But because of those things that I've said and how much I adore this movie, I have to give Paddington a 9 out of 10. And that is my review for Paddington. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I had a lot of fun making this review. Look forward to more videos, and I hope everyone still has a fantastic and awesome Easter.